Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from a throwaway account from the relationship advice subreddit, and it says, I, 25 male, was in a car wreck with my 22 female girlfriend. My girlfriend and I have been dating for 2 years. We were driving together after ordering pizza to pick it up. She came with because she needed something quick from the store right next door. I go in and pay for the pizza and get back in the car and wait. And wait. 30 minutes go by and I finally see her at the checkout line and she's chatting with our neighbor, who lives right next door to us. They let a couple more people go ahead of them as they finish up talking. A good 15 minutes longer. She comes out and throws bags into the back of the car and goes to get in. Says, oops, I forgot to get what I originally needed. Be right back. I was mad. I was extremely pissed off. She comes back much faster and I yell at her. I was angry and I went off. The lack of respect. Stupid cold pizza. She said it was a medication she had to run back in for and why it couldn't wait and she had to go. I said she could have talked to the neighbors back at the fucking house. She said she didn't think she took that long. And I was done. I regret, I drove angry. I should have let her drive. She even offered to. I was too angry to think straight. I was speeding, weaving around traffic. It started raining and I hit a slick spot and lost control and we hit a tree. I walked away with a few cuts, a bruised rib, and black eyes from the airbag. She has a broken nose as well as everything else I do, plus I broke her arm. I'm sorry I did it. I didn't mean to. I'm stupid. Mad because of cold pizza. I hardly ever get angry. It was a bad week at the office. Owing money I don't have, the car making a weird sound. It's so much and I snapped. It's not ever going to happen again. I don't even trust myself to drive since the accident. I panic thinking about it. I haven't called or seen her or messaged her once since the accident 2 weeks ago. I can't face her. I'm so ashamed. I've not replied to her messages or returned her calls. I'm staying at a friend of mine's place. I don't even know what I could say. It's too much. I can't even process all of this. I feel so much guilt. I broke my girlfriend's nose and her arm because I was angry. I'm no better than an abuser. I don't know how to handle this. Oof, what a rough situation. And I think the only way to even start to get past this is take responsibility for your actions and talk to her, not ghost her for 2 weeks. The fact that she's calling and texting and wants to get in touch with you and you not responding because you can't face her. I mean, come on, dude. But the top commenter says to OP, yeah, the way you went about that was childish and uncalled for. Talk to her and tell her how you feel. Don't ignore her after you just broke her nose and arm. What the fuck? She wants to talk to you. You should feel lucky she's even still giving you the time of day. If it were me, you'd be long gone. OP replies saying, I don't know, I'm acting like a worse idiot by staying away. I just picture her crying, all bruised and in a cast, and I can't do it. It's so vivid. I want to so bad, I just can't. Commenter says, you're going to handle it by returning her calls and assuring her you will call your car insurance, pay the deductible for her medical bills. Or if you don't have full coverage insurance, the full cost of her plastic surgery and broken arm since you were entirely in the wrong. I hope for your sake that she's insured. Stop blaming the pizza. Stop blaming her. This is entirely your fault. OP says, I do have full coverage. The car wasn't even all paid off yet, and I'll somehow make sure she sees only the top doctors. I'm the guilty one here. Commenter replies saying, I'm really glad to hear you take full responsibility for the accident and super glad that you have full coverage. She was taken from the accident in an ambulance? OP says, yeah, because of the broken nose and blood, they weren't sure if there was any brain damage. So we ended up at different hospitals. I had a friend fill me in with updates on her and there wasn't any damage to her head, just cuts, some of which needed stitches. Commenter says the fact that you spent half of the post talking about irrelevant stuff, whatever happened at the pizza place, isn't the reason for you driving like a maniac. It's indicative of a bigger problem. You're not, even in writing this post, taking full responsibility for what happened, especially by writing stuff like stupid cold pizza and lack of respect. Get some anger management therapy because my god, if the temper of a toddler if cold pizza and waiting 30 minutes sets you off like that. Commenter says, "As a dad, I would like to take it easy on you and be nice. Fuck that. If that was my child, I'd be mad as hell. Grow up. Own up to what you did. You did this and now it's on you to own your ass up. Go to the house she is at with a bunch of flowers and apologize for the shit you were. And get your ass to talking to her. I mean in person, not this bullshit I called her. No, show your face and do it. It'd be tough as hell, but at least it will show her and her family you have some balls and some caring. Do not deflect anything or allow her to bundle some of it. It was you. Then put some perspective in your life. Car was working, not the best, until you had a short circuit and put your life on dumbass mode for a ride. Now you have nothing, so think about that. You owed money. Buying a home is also owing a fuck ton of money, and you have to think about that if you go in that direction. So again, a loan and some side gig would have helped. Now you are further in the hole due to your short circuit. You did this to yourself. If you don't trust yourself on your anger issues, maybe it's because you were young. Go to the gym or take some martial arts classes or go to a boxing gym. Get that poison out of your veins. Also seek some mental health. If you're going to snap and hurt someone, you really need some help. Usually I would say peace, but you need help. Go and get it." And there was many people talking about his reaction to the cold pizza and the way that he reacted to waiting for that amount of time and the swerving all over the place, etc. But 6 days later, OP came in and said, "Recap. 3 weeks ago, my girlfriend and I went to pick up pizza. She went into a store to buy some things and ended up taking a long time. I sat in the car until the pizza went cold. Then like an idiot, I got angry and yelled and drove, ignoring her offering to drive. I ended up crashing and I was barely hurt. Well, she broke her nose, arm and cracked ribs. We went to different hospitals because they were worried about head trauma, but she's okay in that regard. There was cuts on her head that needed stitches, but no brain damage at all. 2 weeks after the accident, I didn't contact her or return for texts or calls. Then I made a post here for advice. I texted her. I know people said I needed to go in person, but I was afraid to do that and didn't know if she'd even want to see me. She said we needed to talk and bring car insurance info and all of that. She's staying with her parents and her dad stopped me at the door. He took my insurance and license and made copies, I guess. He came back and said she wanted to talk with me outside and to wait. I cried when I saw her all beat up and looking hurt. She didn't cry though. She asked me why I stayed away and abandoned her. I said how I was ashamed. She said I had more to be ashamed of now. And she's right. She said she can never trust or rely on me after this. That she knows I'd leave her when she needed me. How could she be with me or start a family with someone who abandoned someone they supposedly love when they're hurt? Everything she said made sense, and it all hurt because it's true. We aren't together anymore. I didn't even try to change her mind. She's right. She deserves better than me. I don't know what I'll do. I hate myself and who I let myself become. I don't know what all is next for me, but everything is hell. Edit. I'm sorry if this came off as a pity party. It probably is. What I've done feels irredeemable. I was faced with a real life moment of integrity of character and I found I have none. I don't know where and how to start because everything about me is worthless. I know leaving my ex-girlfriend alone is the right thing. Even if there was an impossible chance of her taking me back, it still wouldn't happen. I can't stand to be alone with myself. No one should be around me. I don't trust who I am. The best thing I'm doing right now in this moment is staying away from her and letting her heal. There's nothing I can do to make it better. Give flowers? I'm sorry I almost killed you, so I killed these plants so you can watch them slowly decay. Nothing feels enough to make it right. I'm convinced there isn't a way. If they sue me, they sue me. She has every right. Right now my car insurance is covering everything for her. I know I need therapy, but it's not that easy. Time, money, and trying to find even a therapist taking new patients is limited. I don't blame anyone for their harsh words. I know I'm a terrible person. If my posts and comments sound pitiful, it's because that's what I am. I'm weak. A commenter who was downvoted who says, "You're going the wrong way with this." As one of the people who responded to you, I'm glad you wrote a follow-up. It's your step to knowing what not to do in the future. Run, hide, go no contact. All of those steps were the wrong way. What the right steps are for the future. Accept, face-to-face, and talk to those involved. In other words, you're on the floor to become something better. Which I hope. Your pain will subside, your steps, should you learn, will be stronger, and you'll be a better person. I'm happy that you had the courage to see her face to face. Now grow with this and become better. Peace. Opie says, I replied to you. Most everyone else seems to hate me. I'm sorry I wasn't strong enough to just show up like you said. I know I was wrong hiding for 2 weeks like a coward. The first few days were shock, then I felt she was better off if I stayed away. The days rolled into the next and reaching out to her got harder and harder. My original post and your reply and those of others got me to cross that first hurdle. I will continue to take steps to try and improve, but I'm struggling with guilt and these steps are hard. Commenter says, sorry, you don't get to have your I hate myself pity party. You had all the balls in the world to roid out and almost kill you both over cold pizza and normal life annoyances, but then none to own up to it. Real fucking tough guy you are. You caused this and then went, oh wow, what a mess I made, but hey, everything is fine in my world. I'm not hurt and she's with her dad, so I don't need to deal with her. Respectfully, fuck you. Now you're going wah about how you don't know what's next. Everything is hell. Well, figure it the fuck out. Start with not expecting everyone to wipe your ass for you. Maybe offer to pay for expenses and lost work for your ex. Get some therapy. That sounds like a good start. Actions speak, not whining on Reddit and self-pity. That just says more of the same. And the final commenter says, you're still focusing on yourself and how you feel. You drove dangerously because of how you felt. Anger was more important to you than other people's safety. You abandoned her after the accident because you felt shame was more important to you than her well-being. You're saying you don't know what comes next for you because of how you feel. Self-hate is more important to you than taking steps to change into a man who doesn't hurt others out of selfishness. You need to get your head out of your ass, mate, and step up. Focus on how you're going to work to pay your victims' hospital bills, how you're going to take responsibility, how you're going to enroll in anger management classes so you can control yourself in the future. And I might get hate for this one, but I didn't quite understand why that comment was downvoted. You know, OP talked about how they fucked up. They've got some serious issues going on, and there was a lot of self-pity in there. The downvoted commenter was probably the only valuable advice for OP in there. The rest of it was, you know, you're just an arsehole. I might be in trouble with that comment, but what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story from the relationships subreddit from Birthday Parties 4, who says, my girlfriend is turning 21 and wants me, 21 male, to throw her a party. How do I break the news that no one will show up? Birthdays have always been hard on my girlfriend. She's had a few parties as a child where no one showed up, and since moving states in the middle of high school, she hasn't made close friends. Here at college, she tries to make friends. She talks well to people on a superficial basis, but doesn't have any real friends. She's never been invited to a college party and has often missed out on many typical activities. We've been together for 3 years, since freshman orientation. I don't have friends, but I'm happy that way. I like keeping to myself if I'm not spending time with her. Since she's naturally extroverted, she spends her free time with me or at club meetings trying to connect to people. She's asked if I could put together a small party, so I invited some acquaintances, my roommates, etc. Everyone said no. I gave the invites well in advance too. I don't know how to break the news to my girlfriend. She's been so excited. She thought providing free food and drink would be a great way to make friends, but people don't want to come for even that. What can I do? So there's people in the comments asking why. Someone said, why do all these people you know, friends, roommates, etc. dislike her enough not to come? If she is extroverted, what's going wrong with how she interacts with people to make them not want to be around her? Opie says, I don't know. She can be a bit silly and goofy, but I like that about her. She doesn't cause drama. She's a good listener, has a good sense of humor. She's extroverted but tends to be shy around new people. She also tends to act pretty differently depending on the person. I do that too to an extent. Honestly, I don't know why people are all declining. I've never been invited to a party, but I'd go to support someone. Commenter says, why don't you ask them? Opie says they all make BS excuses about being busy. Some of these people I know are not busy that day. I don't think they want to insult her to my face. Almond says, so you can't tell her without crushing her. You'll either accept that will be the outcome or keep it to yourself and find an alternative way to celebrate with her and you alone. Maybe a nice, light dinner and a fun activity, like a paint and drink event, followed by a stop at a bar. Make her feel like you wanted it only to be the two of you, but don't go over the top. Also, when it's your 21st, then you're anywhere that serves alcohol. Everyone is your friend. Opie says she and I actually don't drink. We'd be purchasing drinks for other people, but we don't have any interest in it. I've taken her out to dinner the last few years. She's appreciative but tends to feel sad afterwards because only one person cares that it's her birthday. She's always wanted at least a couple of people to care enough to celebrate with her. And there was a lot of people on the back of this just giving Opie advice on what he could potentially do to make her day. Lots of people questioning why the friends are so avoidant, but Opie comes in with her first update and says, I logged into Facebook at like 2 AM last night and my girlfriend has posted a message on the party event wall saying the party was cancelled. She saw the no-shows before I could let her know about it. I called her and suggested some other activities we could do. Things like amusement parks or concerts or taking a cooking class. I thought she'd like all those ideas. She replied, no thank you. We were kind of quiet over the phone until she asked me in a really small voice if I could come over. We met outside her dorm at like 3 in the morning. She was crying as I expected, but it was just watery eyes, not full-on sobs how she usually cries. It's okay, she said. Some people aren't meant to have friends. I told her she was exaggerating, that she just needs to look in different places, etc. She shook her head. No, I'm done. This morning at breakfast, we passed a lot of mutual acquaintances. Usually my girlfriend smiles and says hello. Today she just kept her eyes on the pavement, not looking at anyone. She barely ate, but other than that, she seemed like her normal self with me, talking and laughing. She just wouldn't look at anyone else. She told me how she's going to use this extra time to get better in her classes, to work on her jewelry and maybe open an Etsy shop, to read more books. I asked her if this is really what she wanted. No, but life doesn't always give you what you want. I didn't want to be an engineer. I didn't want to live in a basement alone. I didn't want to hate college and wish every day that I could drop out. But you make the best of it. Her voice was breaking as she said this, but she didn't cry. She left the breakfast table after that and said she wanted to be alone. Where the hell do I go from here? Her actual birthday is tomorrow. We were throwing the party a week later and she insists she doesn't want to do anything. Is it bad that part of me sort of agreed with her? That some people aren't meant to make friends? I don't think I am, but obviously she wants friends and it's making her miserable. Edit. I'm sitting with her in her dorm room right now. She's on the bed reading. I'm on the couch minding my own business. Just being near her. She is okay. Opie gave a brief second update and said short update here. I stayed with my girlfriend for a while last night. She just read a book and didn't talk much. I cuddled her a bit, but she mostly wanted space. This morning I came to her room with flowers and a gift. She accepted the flowers with a smile. She told me she wanted to go home to her parents this weekend. I was pretty sad about that. I wanted to make her feel loved and special, but she said she needed to get off campus for a bit. So I said okay. I took her to the bus stop, said goodbye, and now here I am. She did love the present though. It was a book she'd been wanting for a while. Hopefully she'll feel better when she comes back. And Opie's third update says, anyway, the school year is in full swing and she cries all the time. At least 3 times a week, if not more. She feels like she's taken advantage of my kindness, so she tries not to cry in front of me. She's completely abandoned the search to find friends and doesn't go out except for food, class, etc. There are happy moments too, and she'll still go out with me, but she just seems fragmented overall. She actually did pursue therapy at our university because she felt like she really needed someone to talk to that wasn't me. They informed her that all the spots they had were full and that unless she was a suicide risk, they didn't have room. Heartless, right? It really made her feel bad, but she didn't want to lie and say she was a suicide risk. She feels lonelier than ever. There's no doubt in my mind that she's depressed. She pours all her energy into schoolwork and hasn't really touched her hobbies much either. She can't afford therapy other than the university, and they won't give it to her. Is there any way she can get the help she needs? And there was many comments after this talking about how sorry they feel for her and they wish that they could help her out, be her friend, something along those lines. Other commenters were saying that it's a very immature attitude and that she needs to take care of herself. She might have to have a confrontation with her parents. Are they really going to disown her because she goes to therapy? She sounds like she is just full of excuses. Obviously what's happening right now isn't working for her, but she's not willing to make any changes. No one is going to be able to fix this for her if she refuses to help herself. OP replied saying, okay, I'll try to answer this. I do agree she needs to use the health insurance. I'm going to bring that up with her. She isn't making friends at her job, but she genuinely enjoys her job. Why would she give up on it? She started to change the way she dresses, and if anything, that makes her more upset because she used to really like making her own clothes and such. She likely is thinking about what to do when she graduates, knowing her. But she just hasn't told me yet. Yes, she should interact with her classmates, but honestly, she hates her major and probably won't get along with them because of that. She has worked on some stuff, and I'll see if I can get her to fix the other stuff. She's not a lost cause. That's such a frustrating outcome for me as well, especially from the university. Look, I don't know how it all fully works, but she clearly turned to them because she's in a very low place. She's in a bit of a crisis herself at the moment. To then be told that unless you're suicidal, that response is bullshit for me. It's such backwards thinking, and I know someone personally who was told by a mental health service recently that, you know, that you're not suicidal, you're too early to be here. It's like, what the fuck? And I think OP's really trying to be supportive as possible in this, but as always in these situations, and as sad as it is, he can't be her entire support system because eventually he's going to burn himself out at the same time. And it sounds like it's a bit of a vicious circle she's in at the moment, you know, isolating and then depression, and it just keeps going round and round like that. So I really hope that she does find some professional help to help her through this, because it sounds like she really needs it right now. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Incredibly troubling one. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'm going to see you in the next one. Take care and much love.